Hello everyone, welcome to my channel or LinkedIn Live if you're watching from LinkedIn. And in this session, of course, you got an idea of what it's about. It's about the MLOps roadmap, and you could be a fresher, you could be existing DevOps engineer, you could be maybe some in other profession. Then you want to become this hot field right now, okay? And so we'll discuss about how you can become a MLOps engineer, what are the exact skills and knowledge that you require to be successful in this particular field. And the fun part actually, when I work as a MLOps engineer, just not so long, just I think 5-6 months back, for 1 year, I didn't even sign up for it. Okay, so it was like you got a position of DevOps as a freelancer, and then they bombard me with the MLOps related task. And then I thought, okay, I never signed up for it, but I had to do it because I'm getting paid for that. So, but for you, there should be no surprises because I have come up with all the skills, all the detailed things that you need to know. And I'm just going to say, but before that, I have a customer, you can say. If you're joining my LinkedIn Live or maybe say YouTube Live, first comment down from where you're joining, your location, and if you have any question, feel free to ask and I will try to answer as per my best capability. Okay. So without any further delay, let's get started in the world of the MLOps. Okay. So let's see what is there. Okay. So I will go one by one, total 8, I will say total phase or modules you should be covering. Let's go one by one and we'll see. And I will discuss about the detailed steps also as and when required. Okay. So no worries. Let me quickly. Yeah. Okay. So we are talking about MLOps, and without knowing the ML fundamentals, things will seem odd. But when I signed up for it, I had zero idea. Okay. What happened with me that the senior that I had was kind enough to allow me some time around, I think 2 months, to learn about all these basic ML concepts, because I'm going to develop some ML models. I might have some question, feedbacks and repeat questions. I need to have the basic idea. So that time I will say not even that detailed, but I got some some kind of documentation and all that from the particular engineer. Some have here already. You can see this in the screen. So I categorize in 3 category, okay, for the ML concept. 3 category of ML fundamentals. First one is the ML basic concepts, okay. Specifically, the supervised learning, which is learning from label data with input output pairs to predict the outcome of the new data, okay. Then is the unsupervised learning, which is finding the pattern and the structures in the unlabeled data without predefined output. And finally, the reinforced learning, which is learning through trial and error to maximize the cumulative reward, which is suitable for dynamic environment. Okay. Again, let me repeat one more thing. Okay. Knowing this is mandatory, but not doing, because there will be separate ML engineers. You are MLOps, not a ML engineer. Okay. You need to have the understanding of all this, and if possible, some basic practical experience will be good enough. Okay. With that thing in mind, let's continue. Okay. Then is the ML algorithm. Okay. For that you have regression, which is predicting continuous value. This linear regression or polynomial regression. Then classification, that is the assigning labels to data points. For example, logistic regression, descent trees, super vectors machine. And by the way, these things actually I'm going to cover in my DSA series. So within few months we'll be see it anyway. Then clustering, which is grouping similar data points together, which is the k-means clustering, hierarchical clustering. And then dimensionality reduction, which is the reducing the number of features in data while retaining the key information, like principal component analysis, okay, or PCA. This is about the ML algorithms. Again, I have got only few, just so that, and you also need to know just only few, because you want to go hands on, you need to try it out, you need to understand how things works. Okay, for that part only. Okay, then the ML workflows, what are the things you need to understand? And I'll be, by the way, I'm going to be very detailed of each of this ML workflow, because workflows is where the operations are, and as an MLOps engineer, you have to, like 90% of time is have to spend with the workflows only. Okay, so then what are the things we have? We have data collection and preparation, which is the gathering the data, then pre-processing the data, then which include cleaning, normalization, and features extractions. Okay, then model selection and training. Again, this model selection and training largely depend on the particular ML engineer what he does, but he's like, he will give you the model input data. He will like ask for a platform so that he can run the model training. Okay, so as a MLOps engineer, you have to provide that. Okay, then evaluation, which is addressing model performance using the metrics like accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. Okay, then there is deployment. Again, this is something that you'll be doing, and I'll be like covering very detailed. Okay, so which is like integrate training model into production environment, ensuring scalability, efficiency, and reliability. Okay, and we will come to very detail, so don't worry. Then monitoring and maintenance, like in your MLOps, right? And a large time will be spending on monitoring, root cause analysis, then reporting bugs, then making sure in the your CI/CD pipelines, your like you have some mechanism which can detect error early on, and we will come to that. Okay, no worries. So this is about the ML foundations. Okay, that you need to know. Then what next? Then we have the like tools and platforms. I mean, of course, as a MLOps engineer, you still need to learn about all the tools and all the technologies, right? That you will be using in a daily basis. Okay. Now, I mean, without even saying this, I know you guys already understand about this. This is the version controlling. Like for example, if you already tried infra as a code, how it is infra, right? Infra, we are considering it's a source of truth, it's a code. The moment you made code changes to the infra, there should be a CI/CD pipeline or GitOps in the place, which will automatically trigger the infrastructure or cloud or whatever, where you're hosting your platform, that changes, right? Now, or whatever the cloud service provider you have. Now, here, similarly, Git is playing a very crucial role. Well, we will be not just storing the code version, but we'll be storing the model versions also. Okay. So, by the way, let's just go to the definition first. So, Git is a distributed version control system for tracking changes in source code during the software deployment. Okay, and of course, during the final, say executables or binaries also, we use Git for Git tagging. Okay, and we'll come to that later on. So don't worry. Let's go with the flow now. Git is an open source tool, okay, for code versioning. But what are the kind of enterprise tool or paid tools that you have, or what you're utilizing in our daily lives? That is the GitHub, GitLab, and I didn't mention it, but there is Bitbucket, and there is the other similar kind of AWS code commit also. Okay, Azure repos also there, right? Repository. So those things are there, which ultimately built on Git for hosting repositories, managing collaborative development, and facilitating version control workflows. Okay, this is all about the version control. What are the next thing you want? I mean, what is MLOps without a CI/CD? Of course, I mean, the developers, the ML engineers will be making code changes. Every day they will be making code changes, and whenever they make code changes, that code has to go through a very unit, like a testing process. It could be unit testing, it could be, for example, regression testing, it could be integration testing. There will be many kind of testing required, and for MLOps, of course, there will be some specialized testing. What MLOps, I mean, the ML engineer will tell you. Okay, you don't have to guess things up. It all the ML engineer will himself will just, I mean, even if he or she don't say, as a responsibility of yours, you have to ask them that what I have to do to test your changes. Let me know. Document it. Give me the document. Okay, that kind of way. Now, of course, there are tools out of which like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, and GitLab CI. Again, I am taking the three names because these three actually I've utilized in my past company experiences. Especially Jenkins, I'm still using for many clients. GitHub Action, I think for 3 clients I've taken. GitLab CI only 1 client, unfortunately. That too for Kubernetes client I have utilized. But yeah, these 3 tools are very good. These 3, I mean, Jenkins is something, if you're using Jenkins cloud, their solution, it will be scalable. But if you are utilizing Jenkins, and it is your responsibility to scale it. Okay, if you're not utilizing the enterprise or paid versions, okay, it's your hosting, then you have to take care of that. GitHub Action is of course scalable. It's hosted by GitHub. You can configure according to that. GitLab has a similar kind of paid solutions, right? So CI/CD tools, what you choose, that should not like you should not like, I know GitLab, I know Jenkins, I'm using it should be using for the MLOps or any DevOps related things. Is that where you're hosting your code, what is your preference, what your team is capable of, what is your client expectations, requirement, budget, everything defines your what tool you'll be using as a CI/CD tools. Okay, and of course, Hot thing, right? So talk about the hot things. Docker and Kubernetes are kind of. You see, any companies or most probably every companies these days are utilizing Docker for container, creating the containers, shipping it, sharing with other teams, member or production environments, and Kubernetes also kind of. I mean, most of the companies already adapted to the Kubernetes because, again, not small companies, by the way. It's the mid to large companies and not just like last I think 5-6 years I've seen the shift, and now it become largely kind of a big requirement for DevOps or MLOps engineers to know about the Kubernetes and deploy their ultimate applications and run their model. I mean, I did one, not just one, multiple actually, for one company, but I did for multiple times. Their ML, they have to run the models training. Okay, for that I have created a very scalable Kubernetes infra, of course based on AWS EKS, and there we needed the GPU for processing all the training and all that, then storing the result and all that. That was, again, where to store the result, I'm coming to that. But understand, to host the final solution you're using Kubernetes. To run the training also these days, largely Kubernetes is getting utilized. You need to learn all these tools. This kind of no longer optional but are necessary for the MLOps engineers. Okay, I think I'm going to tell you something. As a MLOps engineer, thinking you might not ever think. I mean, you might be thinking of doing MLOps, but you don't know that you need to do this. And what is this? Data engineering. I mean, you could tell me that, Sandeep, no, it's about the ML engineers. They should be doing all that. I will say no. Look, you are signing up for the MLOps engineer, and not just MLOps. If you ask me, as a DevOps engineer, also from many years, I had to deal with the MongoDB hosting, configuration, everything. I had to deal with the Postgres solutions. I had to deal with the AWS3, dynamically creating script for adding, removing, and all that. So those are actually normalized in the DevOps also, and MLOps it plays a huge role because there is no MLOps, there is no machine learning without data. This machine learning happen based on huge amount of data, and that's coming there. But like this much data you need to collect, you need to pre-process, process, then post-process, then you need to learn train the models on that, and then you need to store the models, final trained models and everything. It's not a small deal, and you need to work with a lot of data. That is the reason I have categorized in 3 categories. First is the data collection, and you will be collecting data from from any place. It could be from say external services system, it could be from APIs, it could be from other databases, it could be from, for example, the sensors data, it could be from usage data, it could be any data. Any or every data. It could be structured data, it could be non-structured. Structured means properly labeled, let's say adjacent data. You label this data, right? Or maybe a database data. Row, column, based on you can identify the data. Or it could be simple raw data also, right? So like raw data, plain text. That could be categorized as a plain text data, or say unlabeled data, unstructured data. From there you collect the data. Okay. So all these things will be collecting from different APIs. Okay. Then the databases. Most cases is the structured storage like system like say MySQL, PostgreSQL, NoSQL like MongoDB, Cassandra. Now if you ask me that, Sandeep, it's too much. I mean, learning about the other CI/CD and all these tools, learning about the ML basic ideas and all, that's already too much. Then you're asking for all the databases, because see, you are handling with the data to train the models, as I say, right? And not all, but your company might be using, say, either PostgreSQL or MySQL. Very rare to using both. Okay, your company might be using MongoDB or Cassandra. Rare to use, both altogether. It can be, but it's not very common. Okay, so you can learn the basic stuff about all the databases, and then whatever your client required, you can specialize on that. Right? That's the way you should be moving towards. Then the web scraping. Okay, is again another very popular, and I had to actually build one tool using some scrapper.io. Some tool is there, and I had to, using the Node.js and that particular tool, I had to integrate. Even I think I did for Selenium also, this kind of implementation I had to did as a part of that particular company as an MLOps engineer. Okay, and what this does, like automated extraction of data from website, often using framework like Beautiful Soup or Scrappy, or again there are many such kind of tools are there, and I can just keep taking names and names. You can just do a simple Google search and you'll find that. Okay, so that is there. Now what is next? Then we have the this is all the data collection part. Then we have the data storage part. Like you'll be collecting, You will be, of course, somewhere to store the data, right? You cannot dynamically process. It might take very long time, and you might get disconnects. You might see the instance getting hang, and many use cases happen. But you need a persistent storage for all the data that you're collecting. So first is collecting data. Second is storing the data, and where you can store the data, there is SQL databases, right? Like first point I was telling from where to collect the data. It can be external databases. Then you will be storing the data. It will be internal databases. You will be storing for say. It's a relational data, then you should be storing in say SQL, for example MySQL, PostgreSQL, okay, Cloud SQL, Cloud Big DB. There are many options are there, okay. And if you go to the CNCF, you will see many open source this SQL database also, okay. Then NoSQL, where it's like not relational, one data is not related to another data, okay. You cannot form a relation, but you need some database that is hugely scalable, okay. I mean, that doesn't mean that SQL is not scalable. That is scalable, but you need to do a lot of things to make it scalable, horizontal scalable. But NoSQL databases, it's actually a bit easier, okay. So non-relational databases for flexible and scalable storage, you should be utilizing, suitable for semi-structured or unstructured data also, for example, MongoDB and Cassandra. Then the data lakes, okay. Actually, SQL and NoSQL is okay, but what I've seen more for this kind of ML companies or even AI companies is actually using the data lakes, okay, which is the centralized repositories for storing the structured, semi-structured and unstructured data at very scale. And it is not column and row structure, it's only column based structure. Most cases I've seen that, okay. And examples, Hadoop distributed file system, which is HDFS, then cloud-based storage, for example, AWS S3, and there are many such options available, okay. Maybe in future when you start covering the ML courses that I do, they will be covering all that. Then it's like we are getting the data, we are storing the data, but not all data is usable. We have to do run cleanup, we have to do like pre-processing, maybe it's unstructured, you have to convert to structured data before actually training the models, right? So for that reason, you have a data processing and transformation, okay. And first thing is the ETL pipelines, okay, that is using Apache Airflow, which is the open source tool for orchestrating complex data workflows, including extract ETL. Okay, by the way, ETL means extract, transform and load, okay. The ETL, we call it ETL process, okay, to train the model, or maybe it could be just your data processing some for AI modeling purposes. So there are many cases. Anyway, we'll cover to that when I show a ETL project in YouTube channel, and when I make a course on that, I think, or tutorial, you will be making more easy to understand that one, okay. Then AWS Go. The Apache Airflow is actually a open source solution. The paid version is one example is AWS Glue. Of course, other cloud also have this, but I utilized AWS Glue, which is mainly I was getting unstructured data that I transform to some meaningful data using AWS Glue. Now, what is AWS Glue? It's a fully managed ETL service by AWS, simplifying the process and preparing and loading of the data for analytics. Like ETL paid tool, you can say about that. Okay, then after you have the loading data, and if you want to run some cleaning and processing, there are like, okay, I think you have already seen most cases when you see hiring for a MLOps, like say ML engineer or MLOps engineer, you see Python is a very key requirement, and there are many good reasons for that. For example, Pandas and NumPy, they're utilizing heavily for cleaning up the data, doing computational things, right? So Pandas and NumPy actually get used a lot. Okay. This is all about the data engineering, which is mainly focus data collection, then data storage and data processing part. Okay, and after the storing of the processing of the data, of course, they're again storing the data in the data storage. Okay, this is the basic flow and basic data engineering skill that you need for the MLOps. Okay, then comes to the model development. Okay, now what is this model development, and will you be as an MLOps engineer doing it? Actually, no, but we will be an integrated part of this model development process. And what happened actually, okay, in the model development process? So there is basically three things happen. Again, I'm categorizing the top three. There could be more things happen, but mainly these three happen. Okay, which is the model training. And to train the model, there are many kind of framework get used, but these three you can see in the screen, that is TensorFlow, PyTorch and scikit-learn is heavily get used. Okay, what is TensorFlow? It's an open source framework developed by Google for building and training the machine learning models, especially in the neural networks. Then PyTorch, which is open source machine learning library developed by Facebook AI research lab known for its dynamic computational graph and ease for use. Okay, and scikit-learn, which is Python library for machine learning built by the NumPy, built on the NumPy, SkyPy, and matplotlib for providing simple and the efficient tool for data mining and analysis. Okay, so there are these three frameworks utilized, but there are more such frameworks are available. So what you have to utilize, you have to do research first. Okay, that is the one requirement. Then you are training it, but all the trained model are good? No, because most of the I should not say this, but I had to say that when I see the model training, the model efficiencies initially was 14%, 16%, 30%, 40, 60. So there is a repeated model training happen, pros and cons, the bugs are there, fix it, train the proper data, and a lot of things happen. Okay, after it reach at least 60 to 70%, it considered as the basic MVP. Okay, that as far as I know, that's called the basic MVP. Before that, usually they don't make it to production. Okay, or even pre-prod they don't, I say, to beta tester also they don't give. Okay, so for that kind of validation, there are two very good tools available, and one, I wanted to keep one at least open source and one paid. Okay, so this MLflow, there is a if you just go to Google, and if you go and I share this particular PDF with you guys, you will get as a clickable link. But when you go to this MLflow GitHub repo, you see it's a huge thing. Okay, and it's an open source platform for managing the end-to-end life cycle, for including say experiments tracking, reproducibility, and deployment. Okay, so you should be checking out if you're thinking of doing the either machine learning or MLOps as a DevOps engineer. Okay, then the weight and bias. This is the website. Okay, a platform, or it's a paid version, platform for experimenting, tag tracking, visualizing, and collaborating, and helping teams to track their machine learning experiment in the real time. Okay, so these two I found the good ones, but of course there are many more. You should be doing your own research, but if you have these tools, okay, you know about how this functions, and in an interview they ask, do you know how to validate the ML model as a part of your MLOps process, then you should have to say something, right? So for that something, you should have this particular basic knowledge. Okay, then hyper tuning. Okay, so what exactly is hyper tuning? I don't know if you have ever heard or not. So this hyper tuning is actually optimizing parameter that controls the model training to improve the performance. Of course, the basic model that you initially built, that not might be good or well performing, and that could be a lot of issues, right? So you have to improve it, keep improving on each iteration. Okay, because think of like a DevOps, it's infinite signature, because you're always keep changing, you're always improving the services or solution or coding, right? Similarly in MLOps also, the machine models, the machine learning models that you develop, that always needs constant improvements. Okay, and of course for that you need to optimize the parameter also. So for this hyper parameter tuning, we have techniques like grid search, random search, Bayesian optimization, and there are tools like Optuna or HyperOpt to optimize it. Okay, again, you don't need to jump on this right now. You should be always starting the basic ML ideas, basic ML development, basic tools of CI/CD, then come to the hyper tuning and all. Because don't make your life complicated. Start very small, like I did. I started from some basic how to build a model using their script only. Then okay, I think, okay, what can I do make it better, or how can I make it optimized? Because they hire me because that particular model building taking them 24 hours, sometimes 42 hours, like no particular thing. I saw a lot of problem, lot of issues. Then I thought, okay, something I have to do to reduce, and I successfully reduced that more than, I think it was taking not more than 14-15 minutes. Think of like 24 hours, 5 hours, then even 45 hours. That reducing to the maximum of 15-16 minutes. So that was one of the job for the particular company that I had to do, along with others, like doing the say metrics in a visualization and all that. So there are a lot of things that to do. Again, when I come to the next things of the deployment part, then you will see what ours had to do. Okay, so now let's talk about the fifth point. There is a model deployment. Okay, so what is that model deployment? Now, the machine learning model that is developed, that you need to host somewhere, isn't it? Otherwise, like, what is the use of building a model and keeping in, say, AWS S3 or maybe your own hard drive? Like, no point, right? It has to get utilized by application. Okay, for example, ChatGPT. Like, you have to go to the ChatGPT website, or maybe you have some kind of app, or maybe their client in your computer. There you type things, then they reply, right? So that means one application is running on the vast infrastructure using Kubernetes, using different cloud services and whatnot. And based on your input, that model making a decision, that ML model, and that ML model giving you response, isn't it? So that thing is deployed somewhere, obviously, isn't it? So that is there. The API is there, the servers are there, and it is running somewhere, and it's just taking inputs and giving the responses. Now, what solutions you have, what API option you have to deploy this particular model. I mean, model will be deployed, right? Model it could be any form based on the what say maybe TensorFlow or what other say tool you use, the output, and you have to utilize. But most of the programming language usually have the support, specifically Python has a huge support for that. Okay, so if you're using Python, then Flask or Fast API is a good choice. If you're using, or even Django also good choice. Okay, if you're using Node.js, then Express.js good choice. If you're using, of course, Ruby on Rails is the best choice there. If you're using Rails, then if you're using Java, then this Spring Boot, and all these are the API development libraries. The routing, the processing, the user logging, logout, the integration of with say SSO and all that. That you need to have all that in a place. You cannot just release one say particular model or particular application openly and it's accessible. Like people will be misusing that, right? So you need to put a lot of thinking, lot of business logic, lot of implementation, wrapping of that ML model using some conditionals and all that. Okay, so that is required, and for that you need APIs. Okay. Oh, by the way, for there is ASP, that is ASP.NET Core, C#, and there is if you're using Go, then Go with the Gene is the best choice. Now that's all about the API. So what about the models? So there are model serving platform also, and what does this platform specialize in managing and serving machine learning models. For example, TensorFlow serving is there, Torch service is there, Celdon is there, and MLflow model. Now MLflow, if you think about the MLflow, that one we had in the previous, I think here, yeah, this one. See, MLflow, that open source also have the MLflow model serving also. Okay, now this is what I talk about, running application using API, that ML model developing. App will be there, app will be consuming the model or utilizing the model to make the prediction, responses, and maybe image editing and whatnot. This, if you see the Canva, right, you make the changes and you say refilling or maybe masking or whatever you want. Even the ChatGPT, you ask a task to the particular ChatGPT model, for example 4 or maybe 4.0, whatever it is. Okay, and then it takes some time, at least few seconds or microseconds time, then it do the decision making, and then it give the responses, right? So that is API does it. Model serving is actually storing and serving the model. Okay, then is the containerization of the model. Like you're running the APIs. Okay, maybe it's a Flask application, but think about just if you think about only runnings as a particular one virtual machine, that particular virtual machine resource utilization not happening properly. Okay, or it's the solution not portable, right? So to make it more portable, to make it kind of run on any environment, any OS, and to make it kind of resource utilization should be perfect. For that, it should be should be containerizing it. Should not be Dockerizing, but Dockerizing means containerization of the particular application that is utilizing the model. So including the model and your API framework, whatever utilizing a language, you should be containerizing the solution. Okay, then you are going to host that into Kubernetes. Okay, now again I've given the example as Kubernetes. It could be any other container orchestration. Okay, and if you're utilizing Kubernetes, you should be utilizing standard tool like Helm chart or Customize to make it more flexible. Okay, make it more Helm particularly. Okay, Helm is a Kubernetes package manager that simplifies the deployment and management of the Kubernetes application. So you can package and deploy that easily. Customize is actually a very good tool if you want to manage the basic configuration and you don't want to make the changes to basic configuration. You just enhancing it for staging, for production, for other environment. You just make the particular configuration changes drift. Okay, that case is customized better. Now if you are planning to do for example GitOps kind of solution, where in the Git you will be making the changes and then based on your CI/CD process and validation and everything, then Argo CD will deploy that. So these are the things are most preferred tool, I will say, for Kubernetes. Like of course for containerization Docker, and in Kubernetes is the Helm chart and Argo CD are actually a lot preferred. Okay, so this is all about the model deployment. Three things are divided: APIs, because you'll be developing APIs to serve the model, to utilize the model, model serving platforms to serve the model. Okay, right? And then the containerizing models are the like models in a sense application plus model to and host in some for example APIs and all that, right? So and that API is running inside a container in Kubernetes, or it could be any other container orchestration tools. That's the basic idea. Okay, now we covered the model development and model deployment. Now what about the monitoring and maintenance? I mean, you have the application, it's how you know that it's serving well, it's not making any mistakes. You need to have monitoring for all that, right? So particularly to the monitoring, you say there is performance metrics are there. Okay, so what are those? So metrics such as accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, and OCROC, which is the area under the receiver operation characteristics curve, and are crucial for assessing how well the model performs over time. And these metrics help in understanding if the model is meeting expected performance level of and detecting the any degradation. Okay, this is required. Now second one is that drift detection. Okay, so techniques for detecting the data drift, changes in the input, this the distribution, and model drift, which is the changes model prediction over time. That's the reason now you have to keep updating the models, you have to face the model. That's why even see ChatGPT, there are model 3, 3.5, 4. Why? Because they're improving their models, right? Think like that way. And then the logging and alerting. Okay, what is about that? So now these are the open source tool, but there are even many. For example, paid tools available, New Relic, then Dynatrace, and there is many such solutions available. Okay, so QuickSight is also a good tool. So there are many tools, paid tools available, and but I will say start with the free tools first. You will first build a better understanding, and then you will think that okay, if you are working for a enterprise company that is handling with a huge data, huge complexities, and you want to just offload all the things from you and you want to go for the managed service, then only you go for managed service. But at the beginning of development and all that, you should not be jumping to a enterprise application. Okay, now for logging and monitoring, what are the popular tools? There's Prometheus, which is a monitoring and alerting toolkit designed for monitoring metrics, which is like mainly collecting, and then Grafana, where you can visualize all the things. Okay, and then ELK stack. Actually I was thinking for long to make a tutorial, and I will be making it, don't worry. So what is the ELK stack? So ELK stack consists of Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. Elasticsearch for indexing and searching the data, Logstash for collecting, processing, and forwarding, and even viewing the logs also, and Kibana for the visualization, exploration of the log data. Okay, and last company is actually utilizing the ELK stack. Okay, now what about the most important thing? And it should be questioning right now in the comments, like, why Sandeep you're not covering the scaling part, right? So we should be talking about the scaling part, because as a MLOps engineer, one of the major role you have is actually planning for scaling, doing the proper system design for scaling also. Okay, now system design not only for the application, but when you're running the CI/CD platform for the ML application model building. Okay, now you could be using the Jenkins or GitHub Action or GitLab CI for the ML model building. So whatever the tool you choose, you have to make sure that you have enough resources to kind of scale it. If you think Jenkins is not possible, the company is the data that you're going to model, you need a larger thing, you need a better tool, you have to make the choice. Okay, GitHub Actions, like particularly if you are hosting your repo in the GitHub and you want to have a proper tight integration with the GitHub, then you can consider the GitHub. Same for the GitLab, if you are hosting the coding GitLab, you should be considering it. Okay, then the automated retraining. Okay, as I say, this not just single time training, but you will be keep retraining based on, say, as a developer making, say, ML developer making changes or getting the input or maybe new data set coming up. Okay, all the thing you will be training, right? So you should be automating the this retraining job, maybe based on some events, or maybe based on some most cases based on the events only. You should be doing this retraining thing. Okay, then managing the model version. Yes, so because you'll be retraining, you'll be having multiple version, you have to manage the versions also properly. Okay, and you can use this say Git for the versioning also. Okay, now the most important part, like in the scaling itself, where are you going to scale? Because you will be okay, you might have a containerized model plus application that is getting that is running on Kubernetes, but Kubernetes itself have to run somewhere, isn't it? I mean, there has to be a virtual, not a, there will be bunch of virtual machine, a cluster, Kubernetes cluster, where you will be having multiple or single, in most cases multiple master node and multiple say control node and multiple agent nodes, right, or worker nodes, whatever to call it. So that means you need to have that robust infrastructure which you are going to run your application on. For example, at the beginning days, if you observe, even now also nowadays it's sometime happening. See, OpenAI is $1 billion companies, have $1 billion investment, still it goes down. What that means? That means that no matter how better you do, and you should be doing better, there are possibilities, okay, that your system can go down. But what you have to do, you have to plan for the best solution that is available, okay, the best platform that you can scale your applications, AI applications, or say ML applications to scale. Okay, now what are the cloud services you have for that? For example, to build the models, you have AWS SageMaker and my preferred platform, that is AWS SageMaker, which is managed service of building, training, deploying the ML models at scale on AWS. Okay, which is integrated, and of course another good choice is that it have a very tight integration with all other AWS services. And because I'm working majorly on AWS, of course I'll be utilizing AWS SageMaker. Then of course, I mean, for other cloud also there is tools like Google AI Platform, which offer tools and services for developing, training, and say deploying of ML models on Google Cloud Platform, which is like GCP, and supporting scalable and cost efficient ML operation. Now, like if you are working on Google, please do suggest, because I didn't get much chance on working on the GCP ML models. So if you have any feedbacks, have you any ideas, have you any gotchas, anything, please comment down. I think that will be useful for me and others also. Same for Azure ML. For Azure ML, I worked with a friend. I mean, it's not work. Talked with a friend who worked on that. He's also praising it. But again, I didn't work on. But just to give you an idea, it provides a comprehensive set of services to build, train, deploy ML models on Azure with capabilities for scalable infrastructure and integrated development tool. Again, I don't have a personal experience on that. If you have, please do let me know in the comment section. Now, we talk about the cloud services where you should be building, hosting your models, okay, or deploying the models. What about the training? You have to do distributed training also to make the most out of it. How to do it? There is many tools available, like for example, Horovod, and of course Kubernetes for also doing the model training. Then there is Desk, which is a Python library for parallel computing that scale out to multiple nodes in a cluster, suitable for distributed data processing and training the ML model. So there are many options. I just covered 3. There could be hundreds of such tools available. Okay, I just took the top 3 places which I use, and so Desk I utilize, but this Horovod I never utilize, but there is good news on that particular part. So if you are thinking, you can consider it. Okay, so let me see if any particular question on comment section. Otherwise, I will just quickly complete it. I think if there is no question. Okay, so one comment came is that Google, what is that? Google Cloud Run is great choice. Okay, I have to see that. Okay, the administrator job for development. As I say, administrator job is like CI/CD, not the administrator, but the operations part. Like you have to do all this CI/CD. Then you have to do scaling, configuration, infrastructure setup using Terraform or maybe other tools. Okay, that you have to do. It's not administrator job. It's MLOps involves a lot of things. As I talked from beginning to, I think we are reaching to the end, which is the monitoring and maintenance. Okay. So what about that? Okay, so monitoring and maintenance in the sense is that you have to have the security compliance and the model governance. Okay, where in the security maintenance there is data privacy, which is I think I just missed that point. It should be okay. It's the governance auditing. Okay, I have to fix that heading part before I release this particular I was saying wrong. Okay, so I forget to change the title when copying it. But yeah, don't worry. It's about the governance and the security. Okay, ignore that thing. Otherwise, you will see. Okay, ignore this. Okay, so mainly is the security and the compliance, and then model will come to the model governance next. So what is about the security and compliance? There is data privacy, like addressing regulation GDPR, which is specifically for EU, okay, which is General Data Protection and Regulation, and HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, to ensure handling data with privacy standard. These two are very critical standard, okay, and US the HIPAA and EU the GDPR are kind of very strict ruling. Okay, we have to, even if you're developing data for ML models, and for example, if the ML models actually for a say a healthcare company, or say health startup developing the ML models, okay, then these things actually you have to do very strict checking. Okay, and then there is model security, which is implementing measures to secure model endpoint against unauthorized access and adversarial attacks, ensuring the integrity and confidently of the deployed models. Okay, then what about the governance? So it's governance about model versioning, the track and managing different versions of the machine learning model to facilitate comparison, rollback, and auditability of model changes over time. And then audit trails, which is like maintaining and comprehensive audit trails that capture data. Like, for example, if your company get investigated, like how you train the model, you need to have that response, or say reply towards it, how your process and all that. If someone did wrong, that finding what gone wrong, who did wrong, and like how can we make it better, all these things need to be there. Okay, accountabilities has to be there. Okay, so for that thing, audit trail also needed. So this is okay. So for the first, it's about the, let me quickly go down. Yeah, I hope it's possible. So very first is what? The ML foundations. Okay, ML foundations. Then second is the tools and platform, like say the CI versioning tools, CI/CD tools, then containerization, orchestration. Then the data engineering, which is the main point, data collection, data storage, and the processing of the data. Okay, then model development, where model training will happen on TensorFlow. So for example, what will be your job as a like, you will be doing the TensorFlow thing, you will be Python? No, you will be doing that in the CI/CD process. You need to run certain commands to do some modeling using TensorFlow. That thing you have to do. Okay, now, or maybe using PyTorch or Skillet. Okay, validation, all things you have to configure, the configuration job you have to do. Hyper tuning, maybe you have to give a platform where the developers can do that thing. So this is the thing you'll be doing the platform, you'll be giving them the way to do all this. Okay, because they might not be the expert on the Kubernetes, they might not be the expert on the CI/CD, you are, but you need to understand the ML, because you are giving solution for the ML, right? So that is the thing. Then model deployment, which is developing the end API. Are you going to do the development of the API? No, there will be separate team on the API development. You will be not doing that. Okay, but you have to give them a way to host and scale all this application. You have to help them containerizing it. You have to help them run on the Kubernetes solution. You have to do the configure, say manifest, Kubernetes manifest file. You have to do the Helm or say Argo CD part. Those are the things you'll be doing. Okay, and then the monitoring and maintenance. Of course, you have this is the thing like purely will be doing the, of course, the command to do, or how to do the testing and all that. Sometimes, okay, honestly part here, that sometimes they help, sometimes they don't. If they help, it's good. If they don't, you have to figure it out. Okay, when I work with the companies, sometimes they help, but sometimes they didn't, so I had to figure it out. I had to do it. It took some time extra for me if I'm doing that for first time, but of course they have to understand. Otherwise, without understanding, is not possible. Okay, of course, logging and monitoring part also will be handling. You have to do it. So say Prometheus, Grafana, or any other tool that will be configuring. Okay, then the scaling and automation, again, it's your pure functional work. If you get hired as an MLOps engineer, you have to do scaling. You have to think about scaling the application, scaling the CI/CD part, scaling the training, and all that. It will be your responsibility as a MLOps engineer. Okay, then about monitor, and this is again, the title is wrong. It's about the security and compliance. You have to work together, different teams, security teams, to have it. Okay, so this is all about. Okay, now I think I covered the roadmap, and okay. Anyway, I will be sharing this particular roadmap with you just after maybe 8:30. I will end the session, and then I will share this particular roadmap with all. Okay. So now, if you have any question, feel free to ask. I am all yours for next 10 minutes. If not, then I will end the session here. Let's see. Let's see. No question. I hope there will be questions. Did you guys all understood it? Good then. Okay. Oh, I think one question is there. Let me see. So it's um, from Ramakrishna. So Ramakrishna question is that where is the ML? Sorry, is that Q flow? If you see, remember I have covered the ML flow. Just like ML flow, the Q flow is there, which is the open source machine learning toolkit designed to make the deploying ML workflows on the Kubernetes in a very simple way. Okay, and also it will scale. So mainly for if you want to thinking about running ML training model, I mean ML model training on Kubernetes, you should be considering Kubeflow. Okay, so this kind of like many tools available, but Kubeflow is actually one of the very popular tools. I should have included that. I missed probably. I think last in the previous day when I discussed, I covered that one. This one I forget, but this is also good tooling. Again, ML flow is there and all these tools are there. Those are also good enough. Based on whatever the requirement you have to implement. Okay, let's see if any questions or not. YouTube. Ah, yes, of course. I mean, that is the one thing I'll be definitely doing one MLOps course. See, if I have directly jump on the MLOps course, many people would have cried foul, like say, no, I mean, like, DevOps nahi ho raha, and you're thinking of the MLOps. The thing is that is the reason I started with the first that DSA course, because when you'll be working with the algorithm, you'll be working with the data. You need to understand the data structure and algorithm first. That was my entire motive to start the that particular DSA series, but which is not working out that well. But some people, maybe even 5, as I say, even I when I release a course, even 5-10 people watch it, I will try to complete it. Okay. Sometimes I have difficulties, work pressure, family pressure, and all that I don't able to complete at the moment. But I later on I keep releasing and I'll do that. Okay. But at least the basics and advanced thing I covered first. The optional thing I do later on based on the priority. Okay. So anyway, the after this DSA course is done, Shobha is Shobha's question. I'm going to do the MLOps course. Okay. Now it can be paid version and free version, that I didn't decided yet, but I will see if I can make it free. I will make it free. If I think it's too much effort is there, I cannot. I mean, it will be paid. I will decide that on later on. Okay. One thing is that I was thinking one thing that platform engineering I want to make a paid course, but that also I will see whenever that is possible. I don't have time. Okay. Okay, from Ravi, question is that MLOps will be with AWS cloud. See, because my expertise on the AWS, so of course it's going to be on the AWS. Unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know, but I can do things better in AWS, so I'll be doing there. The main reason for that, actually, people didn't offer me opportunity on GCP. People didn't offer me opportunity in Azure. So I never, of course, my experience on AWS, I'm getting paid more better offer in AWS. So I also didn't make that decision. But in the future, for example, if I get the, opportunity, I will definitely do it. Okay. Can we use ChatGPT for freelance corporate projects? I mean, yes, why not? See, every people utilizing ChatGPT and many other tools, so it's not nothing wrong with that. See, tools are meant or built to be getting used. Be it ChatGPT, be it XYZ, be it anything else. Its purpose is to get utilized and will be utilized. For example, say we could have code in Notepad. You could have code in this one thing, very simple tool, Node plus plus, and there are other very tools. But why you move to like every single developer move to the say VS Code or maybe other intelligent ST? I mean ID, because it made their life better. Okay, and then when these AI tools got invented, for example, chat gpt, or maybe what do you have it there, then we have Gemini, or for example Amazon Q, and all that thing that we are integrating with our code editor, okay, for predict code prediction, even the GitHub Copilot, right? So all the tools actually meant so that our life become easier. But unfortunately, if you become too comfortable with that, your interview going to get ruined, because in interviews this is not allowed. Like one funny experience. I was in a machine coding now, just not so long. It's I think 15-14 days back. I was just you can say my practicing interviews, and Copilot is installed in my computer. Okay, with this VS Code, and the recruiter, not recruiter, the technical reviewer saw. So what is that? It's a and they saw the Amazon Q also. Say remove those two extension first, and then you start the code writing. So think those things will be not allowed. So, and what happened, particularly my case, okay, what happened with me, that I program in JavaScript, I program in Python, and I program in say Golang, I program in Rust, I'm learning Rust. So what happening, everything is like khichdi in my mind. The moment I write sometime, I'm just okay, I wake up from night, due to get fresh, go to gym, then I come back, I'm writing some JavaScript code, and suddenly I'm writing the Python script, or maybe suddenly I'm writing Go script. It taking me around 1 hour to everything came back to my mind, and writing only JavaScript. Unfortunately, I don't know it happened with any other also not, but I have that issue because I'm using working with multiple programming languages. Okay, I have that confusion, I have that problem. Like I need 1 hour to get used to that. Okay, the editor, and then but once I start, I'll quickly finish within next 1 or 2 hours, and that's how the speed I have. So that's a real issue. I don't know if there is any polyglot programmer watching my video. He or she will agree that when you work with multiple programming language, this is a common problem. That when you work with multiple language, when you start coding, at least 40 minutes, 30 minutes, or maybe 1 hour, your brain on very confusion state. Okay, so after you keep working, you all come back and you do proper coding. So that is one thing that I faced. Let's see any other question or not. Okay, let's see what real. Okay, no, I got that one. That's the Kubernetes thing. Okay, from Rama, it's from Ramakrishna. Could you please share some of the pointers or resources start learning? Actually, I'm going to share this PDF right now, right? So there I will share the. Look, the best course in the industry for MLOps is by Andrew Ng. I don't know who else is there, but I have seen the Andrew Ng course. I didn't need any other course. That course is a lifesaver, man. Freely available in Coursera, and I think on the YouTube also. Just search MLOps by Andrew. First result will be that. Go for it. Don't pay a single money to any other place. That is more than enough. Now, if your company paying for the course and the tools, then you should be using that. It's not your money. It's company money, right? So, now see, are you going to start MLOps? Yes, but only after this DS, because see, when we go work with the MLOps, okay, this data structure going to play, and that because that's part of the programming, but still MLOps is going to play a big role, okay. Because we'll be working with data. As I said, data engineering is a very big part of the MLOps thing, right? So data will be working with a lot of data, the data structure, the ML training model. At least the basics you should understand, right? Otherwise, when I'm say that I'm training this, it was like I'm talking alien words. I don't want to want every one of you to want in that state. So the reason I'm doing this DSF course, okay, and of course cracking the big tech companies, okay. So yes, after that done, maybe 2-3 months later, I have big things going with my life right now, which I can say much, but at the things gets done, I'll get free up and I will do that. But MLOps course is top on my list, both the MLOps and AIOps, okay. kind of two are very interrelated. Okay, so that's the reason those two courses I'll be doing. So don't worry, I'll be covering that. What else? Okay, from Ravi Shankar, GenAI is a buzzword. Yes, work in marketplace to integrate with DevOps. Please let us know the roadmap if you are have any plural site list. Plural site, I will see the plural sites. I will see. But yes, everybody adding the GenAI, but every single any people you go and ask, like, did you build any GenAI tool? Everybody will say no, like that. Okay, they just added the GenAI words, the buzzword in the profile, so that they get the call, they get the offers and all that. Okay, I didn't add it because I don't like this kind of dishonesty to add one particular thing in my profile which I didn't work. GenAI, I didn't develop a GenAI application. Yes, I work with MLOps. I help say MLOps engineer training models both in the Jenkins and in the Kubernetes, running the training models and deploying it. I know that part. I can openly say I did that, but I didn't develop a GenAI application. I cannot say that. But if you're thinking of learning GenAI by the Andrew only, Andrew I think released one course on this GenAI application building. You should be doing that. That course link also I will add. Maybe not in the PDF. Maybe I will share later on. Okay. Let's see. Please tell me. Again, I will share the course link, so don't worry. Okay. Any other question? Feel free to ask. I am all yours for 5 next minute. Okay. No question. Okay, then I think I'm all good. Okay, let's see the YouTube. No question. There is no question. Anyway, since there's no question, let me share some things. Okay, so when when I get hired, my MLOps journey, I'm going to share a bit more. So when I get hired by a company by Turing only, and one opportunity got out of Turing. Okay. There they hired me as a not as an MLOps engineer. They hired me as a DevOps engineer and one lead DevOps engineer, and I didn't even know it's a machine learning company. Okay, that company asked me to do some DevOps works, and then that work ultimately comes to the ML machine learning build models and all that. Both the cases, two companies, not two in the Turing and one outside of Turing. Okay, 3 companies. Sorry. So those cases, I think most of the cases, I'm not even alerted that is going to be a ML opportunity, because maybe okay, maybe because MLOps engineer get paid at least 2, 3, even 4 times higher than a normal DevOps engineer, and that's the cruel reality. They didn't wanted to pay that much. That's why they hired me as a DevOps engineer and then asked me, Sandeep, do all the work. Good thing, I learned all that, which helped me boost my own career. The bad part was that it took a lot more than, because MLOps I don't know anything right at the beginning, say 2 years back. So that time I had to do a lot, and lot of hardships, lot of articles, like 200, 300 article open in my tab, and I have to go through, make jigsaw videos, try this, try that, and then grasp it, and then dev it, and which caused a delay in the project also. Okay, because I'm new to it, and they know it, but I'm cheaper to them, cheaper than the MLOps engineer, right? So it is one of their kind of strategy. So if you're looking for MLOps engineer, of course, you see the pay package will be a lot higher. But sometimes, even if you're working as a DevOps engineer, you will see that you're getting opportunities you don't know. But if you join a ML company or say AI company, of course, you're going to work on the AI and ML, right? So MLOps and AIOps will be doing. So that is the one thing you have to look out. I will say you have to do and be a bit different in the competitive world. The reason being, when I started my career as a PHP, and I saw that PHP is so crowded, then I go to JavaScript, and JavaScript Node.js was that time like only few developers are there. I become quickly a Node API developer. That the package was completely higher than the rest. Then I see, okay, too many Node.js and engineer, and I was, of course, I get a requirement to deploy and cloud DevOps, and I see, okay, this space still not that many engineers, not many the piece. Great, why not jump there? I jump. My life changed completely after that, and after that I observed the MLOps and ML AI and all that. But the thing is that I'm at the beginning I was fearing the mathematics, statistics, and all that XYZ. Then I thought, okay, maybe this is not for me. I tried to learn, I failed. I'm talking about the case from the last 5 years back. I failed. Okay. Then what happened that my company that I'm working for a long time giving me opportunities. Even some companies is taking risk on me. Like say this company is able, whichever company hired me as a DevOps engineer, which boosted my morale. Then I gave it another try 2 years back. Okay. Then I see the thing that I didn't able to understand, grasp 5 years back, I'm able to do now. Maybe because I learned a lot while working for many companies. I kind of upskilled. I can understand the models building. I since I developed it, help with the. I sat beside. I mean, not sit beside. I mean, say we did meeting 1-to-1. He was sharing screen. I was there. I was learning from him, and I was understanding. I have now. Not too many, but few ML friend, okay, who also willingly share his knowledge with me. So I'm lucky. I'm grateful to them, and my life getting better and better day by day. So that is the thing that if you become better than the crowd, if you become skilled than the crowd, then only you can make money better than any median developer or median DevOps engineer. If you think it's the current now, right now, there is too many DevOps engineers in the market. Everybody jumping to DevOps. What happened when in a market when the supply become too much? Anything, be in the food market, be in the sabji market, be in the machli, or even in the cloud DevOps domain also is crowded. So you have to have some skill which is different from the cloud, specifically MLOps because MLOps and AIOps, because people think it's complicated and it is. But if you learn, if you skill in MLOps and AIOps, you will still have the edge, still to become a better engineer and get paid more. That is the reason it took me some time, but it became helpful for me. I'm working on this kind of projects. Okay, so I think so Ashish saying the same happened with me. Finally, they fired me because I didn't know MLOps. So see, things like this happens, but yeah, as I said, they hire you as a DevOps engineer, but you are not a MLOps engineer, and they are asking you to do MLOps. Sometimes they are patient, sometimes they are not. For me, as a freelancer, right? And freelancer, the moment they see I'm not making good progress or their work is done, they say, my काम हो गया, my work is done, you may go now, and I'm okay with that because I keep multiple clients, because I don't believe that one client requirement will go for infinity. And it's not impractical to think that way. The client requirement, they have requirement, they keep hiring me. The clients might have the longer term requirement, they longer hire me. They become very good friend, mentor, and I'm grateful to them. But you have to think that the project requirement might not be for permanent. So you need to have those kind of additional client to make sure you are stable. Okay, you have money to pay for all the electricity bill, this XYZ and all the amount. Okay, so sometime yes, they give you, like if you're working very long enough, so if you're working for 4 or 5 years, then they are generous enough. They will be generous enough to give you, because they're kind of very integral, tight, very core member of the team, right? They will give you the chances, give you a chance to give you fail, because at the beginning it will fail. But if you are a new engineer, or just join 1 or 2 week or 3 week, you are not able to make the things work, they will get it will not work, and they will simply say. But they have to also understand, you are not hiring an MLOps engineer, you are hiring a DevOps engineer who don't have any prior experience with MLOps. Give time, 1 or 2 months at least, then will become better, right? But unfortunately they don't understand that you cannot do that much. Okay, but yeah, Ashish, I mean, you tried, it's good. Now it's time to learn and excel on this. Maybe a better company than that companies, like any better company than that particular company which fired you. Okay, that will be a challenge. Okay, so as I say, my experiences, I was hired as a DevOps engineer in MLOps ML company and doing MLOps. Similarly, could be your situation, or maybe you can get paid 2 or 3 into whatever currently you are getting, or maybe any better engineer you can get that much if you have the right skill set. Okay, and of course you have to build this portfolio also, some tools that experiment, maybe some demos, some GitHub repos you have to prepare to show to the recruiter or say team manager or the tech recruiter, whoever. Like, you have to show off that I did this to do that, I did achieve this, something you have to show. Okay, so that things also you have to make ready. Okay, last thing, I think I was talking about 5 minutes now. That is already covered. Okay, so Kapil is that MLOps. Sorry, I think really confused between AIOps and MLOps. Okay, so AIOps is for, there is operations teams. It's not AI operations. It artificial intelligence for operations. Okay, so what that happens, I mean my last video also there, if you just go to my previous live video on MLOps and IOPS and the differences, you will be more clear. But just to give it, like, what happened when there is some problem happen in the system. Okay, you as a DevOps engineer, as an engineer or support engineer or operation engineer, you have to go and check the logs, find out what the reason, what time that was the workload, what could be a programming issue, what could be some system memory issue, or could be system CPU, or maybe any XYZ. That root cause analysis, this time taken prediction, like, this take times, right? What AIOps does, AIOps, like, you have a AI model, okay, or AI application, which will be constantly feeding your application logs, feeding your monitoring metrics and all the data, feeding your operations data. And anytime that any event happen, any problem happen, any error happen, it will alert. It will, since it's ingesting all the data, it will make the prediction exactly where is the root cause. Is it the application making the issue? Is it the system having some issue? Maybe some patching needed in the system, or maybe the application, or maybe a library missing. What could be the reason? AI will detect and alert the engineers, maybe DevOps engineer, maybe some system lead, or maybe system manager. They will alert them. This is about AIOps. Okay, AI for the operation, AI for operations. Okay. Now, what is MLOps? MLOps is different. MLOps is you are helping the ML team, the company, to build the ML model faster, to deploy the ML model faster, to monitor the ML model performance and improve it constantly via CI/CD, via maybe cloud storage, or via scaling, all this thing. Okay, that is the MLOps. MLOps is mainly about building models and deploying it. AIOps about the finding the root cause via the logs or memory, metrics data, CPU data, memory data, and all this kind of thing. Again, just like I did this kind of session, like say MLOps roadmap, I will maybe next week I'll do a AIOps roadmap. Then it will become more clear, right? So I will just next week I'm not going anywhere, so I'll do that. Okay, AIOps roadmap. But by the way, the course that will make on the MLOps, that will be the first course, then only AIOps. I'm not going to do both course at once. So first this MLOps course, after the DSA course is done for the DevOps engineers, then only I will jump on the that MLOps course, and then maybe AI course. Okay, AIOps course. Okay, from Ravi, for 8-year experience IT to MLOps engineer, please tell me the min and max package. Yeah, your 8 years, your IT, if you move to like have all the knowledge and some things to show, minimum 40. Okay, and that too, it will go more and more. Okay, based on your, of course, experience, skills, toolset. That I can say. Again, I should not have said that, but at least I can see market and all that, so I can predict that. You can go to different website now. Even they also this does mention the package. It's fine. Okay, so I think I have answered a lot of questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can always ask me question via LinkedIn and all that. Let's see, any more questions? Nope, no more questions. So I think that's great then. No more question. See, there are it's Rahul. Could you give me production use case MLOps or how MLOps? See, there are many use cases. Like for example, like iPhone factory. Okay, the iPhone factory use case is very important. What happens? Any phone factory. Okay. See, when the screen get built, or maybe a system, say a phone getting out, the system working fine or not, testing, or maybe for example the screen have a crack or not, or for example when there is a Apple production from, is Apple is good or not, it just scan from the Apple from the 360 degree, and if it's not good then it is taking out. For example so many things. For example, milk testing, soil testing, like, or say oil spill detection and all that. Many cases. I can just keep speaking and not stop. That kind of. Ultimately, it could be a edge device, or it could be direct. Say for example, a Chat GPT. It's you're making the query and getting the response. It's direct by the client to do that, right? Or for example, it's a main company. The particular manufacturing firm had the edge small edge devices. Okay, I don't have that in the studio, I have it, not in my home studio. Those kind of devices I have for one one client. They have, I don't know if I should have sure or not, but I have that device that track a lot of data. Okay, there are sensors and do a lot of things. That data have the capability also to model, like that device itself have some minimized model to do, like there is some problem happen with certain things or not, then it report to the production server via the API. Okay, and but if you had to do a lot of data dealing, then it send the data to the server that have the ML model deployed, and then it gives the response back to the edge device, and then edge device make the decision. So there are just like that. There are many use cases. Okay, but again, I think this screen model part. Okay, that is actually a good example given with the Andrew only, Andrew NG. That course link I will mention in the PDF that I have to share now. That we should refer to. Okay, and there are many use cases, and maybe when I make the course or maybe particular tutorials, I'm going to mention even more. Okay, so don't worry, it have I explained. Like any company doing the machine learning, doing the AI, they need a MLOps engineer, and they have it. They are hiring as a DevOps engineer most of the cases, and then asking to convert him to MLOps. Okay, that's what happening in reality. Okay, let's see. We're still over the so okay, say large language model operations. So okay, it's from the Pradeep. So Pradeep, unfortunately, still now I don't have the experience with large language model, so I cannot make much comment on that. But yeah, I would like to learn more on that and see what I can do on that. Okay, but not right now. My knowledge level I cannot answer on the LLM ops. Okay, unfortunately that's the reality. But MLOps I can say how that works and everything. Not on the LLM ops. Okay, I want to. It's not like I don't want to. One colleague in my current company, all that, but he is an extreme busy guy. So this guy's name is Naveen. So Naveen can do that, but maybe I'll do a KT from Naveen. Maybe I'll bring Naveen to my live session, okay? Because he is a kind of very intelligent guy and working a lot of ML things. I'm learning courses. So if you can learn about that and give you answer, okay? But maybe I should not give you that answer on the LLMs. You should be someone more experienced on that, okay? On anyone watching who is the expert on LLM, please do a inbox on me. I will definitely bring you to the live session or a pre-recorded, whatever you prefer, and you answer all this question on the LLMs part. Okay. One thing I do like to learn, okay, is the prompt engineering, because yet I'm yet to explore the prompt engineering. Didn't get chance. So maybe when I get chance, I will learn. I will experiment, and maybe once I learn it, I apply to some places, fortunately, then only I can make the course. Without that, I think I should not be making any courses, any knowledge sharing, which I don't have any knowledge into it, right? So that's the thing. Okay, let's see, any other question or not? Any question, I'm keep pushing wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, so that's it, guys. I mean, I hope that you learn a lot, like at least the MLOps roadmap you can try by yourself. It takes time to make courses, and when I'm working for multiple companies, it's hard, extremely hard for me. Not hard, extremely hard for me. But I'll still do whatever I can. Okay. Oh, from the Pramod. Okay, you're questioning. Okay, from Pramod saying that I am a DevOps engineer. I have exposure toward the data sciences. What kind of project I should do to showcase or put on menu? So if you have, then see, there are some MLOps to identify the card numbers, or say detection of the objects, or maybe the screen crack detection, or maybe not light, that's a bad thing, oil spill detection or oil rain detection. All those kind of gas detection, this kind of thing, detect and then process and all that. So there are, you can do, okay, there are many things. You can just even ask ChatGPT also, they will give you like, list me 20 projects for MLOps or this kind of implementation, they will give it, okay. So there are many things, just have to search a bit, okay. Like another thing is there, for example, no, that will conflict with my work. What to give the option? For example, site, you go to different website, so that site have the tracking. So develop one tool that can detect the tracking and that can automatically disable it. This is the idea, okay. A lot of things you can do with this kind of ideas. Okay. MLOps only 2 years, not much, unfortunately. But DevOps, I think more than 9 years now. With entire development, is more than 12 years. That is my total experience. MLOps is still, like, even if you ask me, to me also, not not extremely that. But I started 2 years back when I was working with Turing, and one company also I got it. So I worked for two companies. One was the AI company, pure AI chat company, and another one is the ML company, and another one later that I joined, that is the doing this kind of ML kind of thing. Okay. Like there are actually engineers who is working, by the way, like from last 5, 6, 7 years also. I have a friend, okay, he's kind of more, no, he's like ML engineer, not MLOps, but he's also good thing. From question from Shrikant, Shrikant, sorry if I'm spelling it wrong. Shrikant, could you please share some of the resources to start learning? Yes. When I share this PDF, I'm going to share the link of learning all this. Okay. So yes. Okay. So if you ask me that if you're a DevOps engineer, how tough it is to transition to MLOps, I will not say it's tough. It's not easy to. You still need some kind of understanding in the ML basics also. Then how to build the models, how to deploy it, all the things, then all the monitoring and all that. It have a learning curve. Okay, at least I will say 3-4 months you will need. Okay, as per at least I took that much time to understand actually how things work. To me, it takes. Now it's become a bit easy, but not too easy, because every company have their own complexity of what they're implementing, what they're doing. Based on that, the ultimate work can be tough or easy. Okay, so that is one thing you should remember. Okay, I think that's it, guys. It's been already 1 hour 17 minutes, so I think, yeah, I'm ending it. If you're new to my channel, please start subscribing or following on LinkedIn. And if you would like to learn about the MLOps and follow on the course next one, it's okay. But please follow the I can request only, okay. Just go to my channel, and there is a DSA for DevOps going on. I know as a DevOps engineer, you don't have a single bit of interest learning DSA, and I'm agreeing with you. But to crack big companies and to learn all this MLOps, AIOps, you need very good understanding of the data structure and algorithm. Otherwise, it will be extremely hard for you. Believe me, that is a reality. I don't know who say what and who agree, disagree. What I have feel, I have gone through, I have learned, I found it's very tough for me without learning data structure algorithm. Okay, so that's why I learned it. I mean, why the hell I would learn DSA, right? करना पड़ता है. So for works you have to do it. Okay, so that's it, guys. See you soon in my next video. And yeah, if you have anything to ask, you can go always ask in the LinkedIn or comment section. I'll definitely reply. Bye and see you soon. Have a nice weekend. Okay, bye bye.